outside 여기 안에.
Wow. Oh, I'm gonna do that too. Wow. What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna be touring Youngju and Donghwa. To start off, we're here at Youngju, which is a historical town with a lot of the buildings and businesses preserved from 100 years ago that show us how Korea truly looked like back in the days. We're gonna go around here with a tour guide that's going to explain to us what everything is about, and then we'll be having delicious food and checking out some of the other sites of the North Gyeongsang-bukdo. This building over here is actually the original building that's 100 years old that's been used to remove the outer casings of rice. Not only do you get a sight of the historical buildings, but you also see the locals going about doing their everyday things, such as preparing kimchi for the winter right now. It started out ordinary and more informative and historical. But as we're proceeding, we're seeing some amazing views. I really like this hill up here where you can get a nice view of the surrounding areas. And the work they did to decorate the walls up here, I really like what they did with this place. And actually a lot of the places in Korea and the countryside are doing this, and I think it really adds character. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If it's sort of contaminating the original, or if you also think it's really adding to it and giving character and color to these historical areas. Something I also gotta mention is we noticed that they have like some of these very old cars here. You're even getting a historical tour of the cars. We actually saw a pony, a Hyundai Pony, which they say is like the second car they ever made. And it's so amazing. It seems operational and they're using it for business. So that was really interesting. That must be a really nice house right there to have a good view. 안녕하세요. By the way, we're all wondering what this fruit is. In Korea, they call it mogwa. Oh, it's very hard. Yeah. Oh, guys, for example, this building here was built in 1935, and the owner actually owns a place up in Seoul, but he likes to come down here and enjoy the slow pace of life. So Youngju used to be a very central railroad area with two of the lines meeting. So you have a lot of these Japanese era colonial buildings that are still remaining near the train tracks. Overall, you get a really nice historical overview between that and sort of how the buildings were when they built it in the 80s. They even still have the original signpost for a club that used to be happening back in the days.
Club, Korean club.
Alright guys, check out our lunch. It's so huge. It's bigger than Jex's head.
맞아.
Yeah.
Despacito, despacito. Oh, yummy.
Oh.
Oh, yummy.
Everything looks so delicious. We decided to share everything together so we can sample every delicious flavor they have. Oh my gosh, guys. The tonkatsu is so crispy. It just cracks in your mouth.
A mí me encanta todo lo relacionado con pollo, el huevo 되게 두꺼워요.
Oh, they put a lot of butter in that egg. The elephant punshik. That's where you gotta come. Alright guys, so here at Youngju, we're gonna experience making rice wine makgeolli. I'm actually really excited for this. One of my favorite drinks in the world, and I've always been curious about how they brew this and make makgeolli. Here at the Experience Center, they explained to us there's only 3 basic ingredients. It's gonna be the rice, the yeast, and the water. And we're gonna be able to make makgeolli. So this jar is where we're gonna be fermenting the rice wine. And we're just basically spraying ethanol in there to cleanse it from any bacteria and germ. Whoa! You got it in one try.
Yeah.
So now we're measuring about 600 grams of rice that's cooked with the least amount of water possible to create this non-sticky type of texture. Alright, I'm just 1 gram away. A little more. Oh, it went over,
소화시켜주시고 덩어리가 있는 것들은 빼주시면
Now we're just breaking up the rice so that we can dissipate the heat and it cools down so the yeast doesn't die when we put it in there. Ooh.
Let's feel it.
My Latina Martha Stewart. Good job.
Good job,
Yeah. Leah likes to rub it in. And Jack's style is more of a spreading out.
Mine's like a bread style.
Yeah. This is like you're making pizza dough.
Yeah.
Now we will be pouring 700 milliliters, 3.5 cups of water. Alright, and to wrap it up, this is where the magic is. For about 10 minutes, we will be rubbing and mixing and squeezing this mixture until the water turns into an ivory-like color. Alright, so now that we finished mixing it all up, we're emptying it into the jar. Oh my gosh, and I already see bubbles forming. So that rocky thing obviously is not traditional yeast in that sense. But at the very end, just to make sure there's a more stable fermentation process, they are adding a teaspoon of that regular yeast on top. And now the final touch that will make sure that this tastes delicioso.
El sello de garantía.
So basically what we have to do is when we get home, remove the top, stir it day and night for about 3 days, and close the lid and leave it for about 7 to 10 days. The way we'll know it's complete is all this rice should eventually just sink down to the bottom, leaving only about a couple rices flowing up on top. 싸우지 말자. Right. Let's try some of this makgeolli here. You can never go wrong with makgeolli.
We need the sauji.
Wow, the 사장님 is so nice. She is giving us one of these make makgeolli at home kits, and she sells these for less than $20, and you can make them at home. You don't even have to go through the process of mixing all that. It just comes in a powdered pouch. You just add water. By the way, this place has a real life mascot. That's him. Alright guys, so here we are at Namu Bridge. Very scenic road here and one of the top 100 roads of Korea. It is unique in the fact that it's not a road that you can drive on, but it's one that you walk on. Made completely out of just wood planks. Enough space for just one of you to walk through it. You better have good balance. And they have little logs to the side for you to step aside and let other people pass and take pictures. I wish we just had more time here because while flying the drone, I noticed that they have a really big traditional folk village around here as well, where a lot of the residents are serving all the tourists that come out here with barbecues and food, etc., in a very authentic environment. There's other walks along this river as well, and you can rent a bicycle out here and really have a good time. So I could see the hype behind this place. I really wish I just had more time. But that sort of just wraps up our day here in Youngju. I would say personally it is the more enjoyable between Ponghwa and Youngju, although Ponghwa is really unique and so natural, has its own little assets. And overall, I'm really happy that I discovered these two areas thanks to the tourism associations out here. Whatever the case, it's now time to head back to Seoul.
Let's go. Back.
You sound too excited to go back.
I want to sleep.
Seoul, it's a bittersweet end to a fantastic trip. Definitely check out Jex if you speak Espanol or just want to see something entertaining in another language. And Tizzy, Sherway, and Mia, and Leah, I will all link them below. So check everybody out. Let me know in the comments what you thought about these two locations. And I'll see you again next week for more vlogs about living and traveling in Asia.